Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 141. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we pour over a huge update on the development roadmap, talk about a big announcement for Expansion 2, and discuss what it's like in the Crucible since the Go Fast update. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hello.
Hello, friend.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
It's great. Doing great. Coming off the weekend. Haven't recorded on Sunday night in a little while, so, you know.
Yeah, there's never enough weekend.
Right? Yeah. Today was get stuff done around the house day, so we're both, we were talking about, we're both kind of sleepy.
Yeah, we're gonna stay awake just long enough
to do this thing. Always, right?
Always, except for those random weeks that we.
Right? Yeah. Except for those. Yeah. We do what we can.
But hey, I'm excited because there's lots of interesting news and stuff on the horizon.
Oh yeah, we're like creeping up on that excitement, that hype. It's just creeping in more and more each week.
Trains leaving the station. There are things happening all around us. Let's kick it off though. Let's get the show on the road.
Let's do it.
First off, we got an announcement real quick, and it's going to come to you via SpeakPipe from one of our very own community ambassadors, Mr. Snatching Panda. Take a listen.
Hey everybody, this is Snatching Panda, and I want to take a minute to talk to y'all about the clan shakeup. Invites have been sent out to all the active players that are in the Discord. Make sure to check Bungie.net for your invite. If you didn't get one and plan to be active, send a message to one of the ambassadors in the clan sign-up Discord channel, and we'll hook you up. Speaking of Discord, with all the shakeups, now is a great time to get more active in the Destiny Reset Discord server. It's a great way to get to know your fellow Guardians and to make friends to play with. One of the things that makes the Derp Fam special is all the positive, outgoing folks. And the best way to connect with them is to chat with them when you aren't playing. If you've never ventured into general chat or have been away a while, I challenge you to swing by, say hi, and start a conversation with someone new. I've met a ton of great people, and it just takes the first step of putting yourself out there. Happy reset, and see you all in the Discords.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. We kind of told you about this last week, but Mr. Panda just did a fantastic job of reminding you and summarizing for you what's going on with the clan, the DRP Derp Fam clan shakeup, and also to get in the Derp Fam Discord. What is that link, Cyborg? What is that link?
Discord.gg/Destiny Reset. Really easy.
Boom.
Go there. You can join the server and hang out with some other cool Guardians. There's plenty of folks in there looking to team up, fire team up, play strikes. Nightfalls are the highest demand LFG right now. And I see a lot of raids going down lately too. So jump in, go hang out with some other cool Guardians if you're not already. We are having a firm requirement now that if you join the clan, you've got to be in the Discord so that we can communicate with you well. So
this makes things easier for everybody, right?
Yeah, if you're moving from one of the existing clans into another one, you're going to need to make sure that you jump in the Discord so you can get your invite. So do that and hang out with us. We would love that.
So many people grinding that Nightfall over and over again right now. Discord will help you out.
Just trying to get that
the better devils is what I heard it called this week.
I haven't seen one in person myself. I've seen pictures. I did not get to grind it enough. I did put a good solid night into Nightfalls this week. We'll talk about that coming up. First, some news.
News is on the show.
Always at the top of the show, but we're going to kick it off with This Week at Bungie. They mapped more of the road ahead. We got a new version of the Destiny 2 developmental roadmap. We get to see what's coming a little bit further down the pike. So let's look at this real quick, Arrow, and look at some of the new things and some of the changes we see here, right?
Yeah, I mean, so nothing's really changed on our 1.2. We're getting some great stuff at 1.2 along.
I got to point out, there's some really big confirmations of some important items here that were asterisks on the horizon last time we got an update, and I was super excited to see these like boldened and cemented on this roadmap. So let me read through these real quick. Seasonal Crucible rankings. We knew about that. That is going to be exciting. Private matches. Very exciting as well. Vault space increase.
Yep. I feel like they're doing that one just because they know they're giving us more guns, so they got to do something, right?
I just want to sing Madonna's Like a Prayer right now. Just, God, celebration. We need this so bad. I don't know how much we're getting. Anything is going to help.
I feel like I saw 50 somewhere. I don't know. I thought that was on the roadmap, but it's not. Maybe it's not confirmed. I don't know.
And maybe they did. I feel like I saw that as well at some point, but I don't know. If it was 2, I would be happy, you know. But we're getting more slots, so that's a big deal. Multi-emote.
I'm so excited. Bungie, I will now spend a little bit more than $5 at Eververse. Thank you.
It's all going to be about the combos, you know. Yes. What chains into what.
I've been saying since D1, if you give us the emote wheel, I will spend some more money.
Hey, man, they knew it was all about opening up your wallet.
Right, yeah, now they're going to get 10 instead of 5 overall.
Big money. Exotic Weapon Masterworks. This could be cool.
Yes.
Seasonal Vendor Progression. I'm into this. Exotic Weapon Sandbox changes. We knew that was coming. Heroic Strike modifiers. Very excited for that to return. And Nightfall Challenge cards. Now, we do have Nightfall Challenge cards as is. My guess is this is going to be an expanded feature set for that card. Maybe selectable modifiers and things of that nature, which could be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of really great features coming. Some of this is stuff we've had before coming back from Destiny 1, but either way, it's big improvements to the game, big quality life stuff. Really looking forward to that, coupled with Warmind.
Booyah!
The new expansion is named and dated for May 8th, 1.2.0. So tell us what we've got to look forward to further ahead, Arrow.
Well, you know, I was going to say, too, on everything you just mentioned, I heard it put very well this week. I want to say it was one of our buddies on Fireteam Chat, just consuming all the content from the different sources this week. It seems like May is bringing us a lot of stuff, new DLC, which hopefully will deliver. You know, hopefully we'll take it further than the Osiris DLC. And it seems like everything's kind of coming together. Like you mentioned, several of these things are things we've had before, but it seems like it's kind of coming together, kind of forming nicely for, you know, a few things in summer, and then hopefully ultimately they're shaping up for a fall, September, you know, DLC, quality of life, just extravaganza. You know, it's all just going to come together extremely nice by September. That's what we hope, right? But a lot of these things you just mentioned, I mean, they're good things. They're even like all the way to the Nightfall Challenge cards, like you said, the Heroic Strike modifiers. It's just and the one you kind of emphasized, the seasonal vendor progression. Even if that's just a number added like we had in Destiny 1, I'm excited. You know, something about just knowing what level you are at each vendor is nice.
Hopefully some depth there. Hopefully not some reskins.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, moving on. Summer. They give us summer and September. So in summer, they've got new seasonal event, which of course many are speculating immediately, possibly SRL.
I don't know, man.
I think it's going to be something new, but many immediately jumped on the SRL thing. It's so weird that we haven't already had SRL. Maybe they scrapped it for a while or altogether, even though people did enjoy it. You know, it's kind of 50-50 with SRL. People loved it or people didn't, because it's not really, I mean, it's not Destiny. It's racing.
It was good enough for them to have it twice.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be something new.
I think it's going to be something new. Let's throw our money in on that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I hope it's pretty in depth as we're getting on this as well. Speaking of depth in a live event, faction rally improvements. So sometime in the summer, faction rally will return, and there will be improvements. So I'm excited about that. The next one I'm super pumped about, man. Bounties, they say, are coming back in the summer. So, I immediately saw people say, I don't understand, we have challenges in Destiny 2. Why would they bring back bounties? And we talked about this. I talked about this on our YouTube community checkpoint that we threw up. Dude, bounties, I loved bounties because they were like a tangible thing, if you will, in the game. Like you went and got them depending on what you were going to do that night when you logged on, and you acknowledged that you got them and you completed them, and they promoted you to do different things in the game. You know what I mean? Whereas challenges, for me, still, I go do something and then I complete a challenge and it's awesome. I get that gratification, but I never looked at it. I forgot to look. I still forget to look at challenges. So I feel like both of them together are great. You kind of get that Call of Duty-esque thing with challenges where you get that instant gratification on your screen. And then bounties are kind of more of a thought out, hey, what am I going to do tonight? Let's go pick up some bounties. Maybe make some people happy that you don't have to go to the tower to pick them up. Maybe you could just pick them up some other way. I don't know. I know people sometimes go into the tower. That trip's annoying to them. But anyways, what do you think of bounties before we move on?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I can't imagine they're going to do them just like they used to. One, because the same systems aren't in place, right?
Right.
We don't put experience into weapons anymore. I mean, maybe they could give experience that would go towards your level up. But I'm wondering if bounties would be more of a true bounty system where you're hunting named enemies, or
that would be cool. Yeah.
Performing specific tasks. I don't know. Bounties were always kind of trite in a way, and they improved them at a certain point, like after the Taken King, where they got more interesting and more specific, my hope is that to bring this back, they had to have a really good idea for it,
Right.
Like, I don't think I've heard anybody until very recently ask for these. So,
except for me.
Yeah. Knowing that it was not like high on the wish list at all, or any wish list that I've seen for a while, somebody must have had a good idea to bring these back. So yeah. I'm hoping for something fun and interesting that will, add some spice to the everyday Guardian life, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Add something to the day-to-day hobby.
Give me something more Destiny to do when I'm out in patrol and stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, Good golly, I love patrolling in Destiny. Like, any way you can make that more fun.
They need to throw you some ghosts out there.
Well, we're going to talk about that, but
yes, we are. And it's funny too, because I feel like the thing I mentioned on that video is these are great and fantastic, and they can do what you just said, add to your day-to-day Guardian life, give you something else to grind, something else to do, but it doesn't fix, bounties won't fix any core issue with loot or incentive or investment. Yeah. They would just add another layer on top of one that is already working well. So, they're an example of many things that will make the game better, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways. All right. Moving on with summer. PC clan chat and exotic armor sandbox changes with an asterisk. So,
Meaning
this one moved back.
It has been revised since the last publication.
Yes.
I want to say this one was possibly on May originally.
I think it was. I think you're right. That's what I feel.
Because originally, the exotic weapon sandbox stuff was supposed to deploy with the Go Fast, and they pushed that out. And so, yeah, I think that the armor got bumped out a little farther too. So,
right.
Which I don't think that's like the number one need, but I was just looking really hard at exotic armors for my warlock this week when running the Nightfall, and I was just looking at them. There's not a lot of them that are interesting enough that I would run them over like a spec build that I need in a lot of cases. There's a lot of, okay passive abilities, but there's not many that are so good that it's like, oh, this is a no-brainer. I've got to run this for the strike, Yeah. So I do think they need some work.
It'd be nice to see what they do with this. It actually reminds me, I meant to say back on the exotic weapon masterworks we're getting in May in 1.2.0. I really hope I'm really looking forward to additional depth to for masterworks on legendaries that we have for weapons and armor, and I'm hoping that exotic masterworks that we get next month, maybe we'll already see a little preview of some depth, even if it's just a different perk that we get because they're exotics, maybe something a little bit more substantial. I don't know that will happen, but I'm wishful thinking that maybe we'll see a peak to a little bit more depth.
Spitballing.
Anyways,
So a few things to look forward to in the summer here. Nothing crazy, but between May and September, that's June, July, August. It's 4 months. Mm-hmm. So we're at the least going to get Return of Faction rallies and one new event, which will be a nice break, a nice shake up somewhere in the middle of the summer, and then some other stuff. But besides that, it seems like we'll have kind of a fairly quiet summer. Just typically been the case, for most places. Now, one or two things conspicuously missing from this roadmap that may not make it on the roadmap. So let's talk about it. So we had the delay of the Eater of Worlds raid lair. Prestige. And they promised that they were putting raid prestige, back on the drawing board because they felt like what they had was not sufficient. Nowhere on here do we see that. Now, whatever raid layer that we're getting with the Warmind DLC will obviously be a thing, but will we get a prestige for that? So we're almost missing 2 pieces of content.
Yeah.
And nowhere do we know when they're going to show up. It would be great if we got that over the summer, because that would be
sometime in there would be
a
nice.
Big event to come back, but they're not that's not even on the September stuff. So I want to ask, that's a big question I have from Bungie. Where's the prestige raid lair stuff? So I guess
and we're days into this updated roadmap. So if it was an accident, they would have already been changed.
Yeah, I haven't seen any conversation about it on Twitter or anywhere else. So maybe we'll find out. So that's a big what if.
Yeah, and summer, when I first looked at the summer one, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look like a lot. And like you said, we're kind of used to that in the summer. We want them to be really gearing up for September and deliver some sort of Taken King style, whatever that may be, the equivalent, at least in substance and quality of life things along with it. But, I see bounties on there, and as much as I want bounties and actually did personally request it myself, it's like you wonder if you kind of just like throw that on in summer, so we can give them something while we work on all this other stuff that we really want to give them by September. But I don't know. I want to get to a point in Destiny where. And we're kind of there when faction rallies come back. It's nice. We've mentioned this before on the show to have maybe 1 week of the month that is just normal reset. And then the 3 other weeks, there's an event going on, and I feel like that keeps the game pretty lively. And I almost forgot about this sentence down here. It says, we now have a plan for raid prestige changes, including raid layers, and we'll update where it will land in the next development roadmap. So I guess we gotta wait a little while for that. Yeah, and I just now pulled up the actual roadmap post because I've got the TWAB pulled up. They did definitely put some nuggets of information in the actual roadmap post.
Yeah,
that we definitely can't forget. Which, let's finish September real quick.
Yeah,
September. Gear collections.
Boom.
Yes. So hopefully not just, this is like, back in the day, you're thinking when we used to, well, like we have for exotics right now. Right?
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. They use the term gear. Gear is not just, fashion stuff.
Right.
Gear is like, we're talking about weapons and armor. If that's what we get, holy cow, that will just fix my vault space forever. And I don't know why we've never had this in the first place. They rolled out collections. It worked great. If we're going to have collections of gear across different seasons, we got to have gear collections. That way we can, we can store our year 1 Vanguard armor, and we can pull it out one day when we want it.
Right.
Man, that would be such a big deal for this game.
Yeah, it would be huge. I mean, you're talking legendaries and collections, whatever we want. I mean, it's a major deal.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
So moving on, records. You thinking like record books? The thing about these September ones is they definitely
there's a lot for interpretation.
Vague, familiar words.
I don't think it's record books.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is actual records. I think this is like boards, like competitive record boards and stuff like that, like fastest raid clear and fastest prestige night clear and top score. Like I think this is something we could see in the game.
Okay,
it's something that.
Or what if it's just personal records? It's not even really out there for other Guardians. Just go it's like a stat screen.
Yeah, if you could go in your menu and you could run through activities and see your personal bests on things, scores, times, how many deaths you got in trials, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I instantly think Grand Theft Auto. How many miles walked?
Yeah. Well, they track a plethora of information. And we had access to all of it in Destiny 1 it was strangely tied into the Grimoire system, but you could go in through your companion app and you could look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And with Destiny 2, I know that you can there's a lot of stuff still in the API that you can get through Destiny Tracker and stuff, but there's nowhere just for the Guardian to go first party and just like look at all the data with this Guardian. So it would be awesome to have all this in the game. Definitely can't be done.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, records is an interesting one because that stuff would be fantastic to have, but just throwing in random stats like that you can go look at are cool, but they aren't like the substantial quality of life changes we need in the game, So I would almost not just hope, but think there would be something else tied to this.
If there's a competitive system, even that just has rewards or some kind of prestige tied to certain things, like holding a top 10 spot on something that everybody can see in the world.
That'd be a big deal.
Yeah. even if it's like emblems or different stuff, So, and I feel like almost we're seeing a bit of that, with the Nightfall strike scoring, and they're updating that in the weekly update every week. Like, they've always kind of flirted with records and the competition thereof. So to see that in game would be cool.
Yeah. Even if this was record books, I did not. You did big time, if I remember right.
I did all of them, man.
Those. Yeah.
I think I completed almost all of them.
I did on a couple, and then others I didn't so much. And now that we don't have them anymore, I do I respect what they were now.
I thought they were a cool idea. I always liked them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a layer of fun grinding reward system there.
It's the RPG. Piece of the completionist itch that gets scratched that you also see in like open world games,
right?
That it just adds a little layer.
Respect more of what they did for the game now. Definitely, I wouldn't be a bad thing to return either. But I think you're right. I think this is something at least slightly different or entirely different. Again, their word choices are great here, except for this next one. This next one is pretty specific. We just don't know what it entails. The next one is weapon slot changes, which Hamrick hinted at on the Twitch stream they did just a bit ago that we talked about last week. They've already confirmed that they're fully working on tweaking the weapon slots system that's in the game right now. But again, this is weapon slot changes is what's on the roadmap, and we have no idea what it entails. I mean, my gut feeling immediately is that it's not anything too crazy. It's not like going back to D1 like so many people have mentioned, or something that substantial, but it's obviously something enough to throw on the roadmap and something they feel is gonna mix it up to maybe make people a little bit more happy with what appears to be a 2 primary and power system.
That's a pretty major fundamental change to the game. And it's one that a lot of people have had their eye on. Along with the next one that I was shocked to see, to be honest. But
it's another with a word choice, though. Go ahead.
Weapon randomization.
Yes.
What that means, I don't know, but I'm totally shocked that they're going to go there. I really didn't believe that they were going to do it.
I just feel like I read that and I'm like instantly excited. And I'm like, wait a second. They thought about that selection, that word randomization. They thought about that in their meeting for a while.
A lot of people
clearly it's not roles.
Been begging for this. Yeah. I have not been of the opinion that that's what was needed. Mm-hmm. There is a freaking-tastic post by Mercules last week on Reddit that he put up on a potential fix or a concept for how weapons and mods could be improved to basically create a new system that I totally bought into, and I hope that they will see. But it kind of answers that. It basically just makes everything piecemeal and upgradable based on different weapon frames, and you start out with, a basic archetype for a weapon frame, and then as you play the game and collect things or complete things, it upgrades to other weapons in that archetype, just like a skin. And you open other perk choices, and then you can use mods to adapt them and basically put together the weapon that you like. Because there's basically in the game, like, there's certain weapons that are literally the same weapon. It might be like a Suros auto rifle, and it's 7 different names, but it's the same gun, just with slightly different stats and different perks. we already have weapon randomization in the game. It's just that they take a gun and iterate it a number of different ways and give it to us that way. People call them reskins. It's basically just the same weapon with different perk rolls. And that's why I don't know why we would need weapon randomization, that we just need a larger pool of weapons. But I'm going to keep, I'm going to stay optimistic and keep my my options open here and see what they have. I mean, we're a while from seeing what this could be. I don't think that random rolls were a total mistake back in the day. I just think the way it was implemented, the sandbox wasn't right for it, Right. There were too many problems in the sandbox when they did that. So,
and I've heard it, I think this week, I don't know, in conversations, heard it put well, like random rolls were great for Destiny 1, but it wasn't necessarily a great system, It did give us a reason to grind things in Destiny 1, and it worked at the time. They say in here, two sentences, a few sentences. They say, we also want to bring back those exciting moments when you acquire the perfect weapon. To make this happen, updates like weapon randomization, weapon slot, gear selections, and records will be delivered to all players. So they hint to it there, and then they go on to say a little bit further down after the raid prestige stuff, they say mod changes are being incorporated into our new plan for weapon randomization. So,
my guess is that the mods are going to be what are random, and the mod system is going to be how you quote unquote re-roll stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, man, is they can't, let's be realistic. I mean, this isn't the first time anyone said this. Whatever it may be, team size, just not, the content plan didn't quite pan out the way they had hoped. I mean, we all hoped after D1, D2 was just going to be seasons, things like this. And it's kind of coming together now, but not right out of the gates. But whatever it may be, they aren't able to create content, at least right now, and weapons and armor, and just overload us with all these different kinds of weapons. Granted, there are a ton in the game, if you count blues and everything, and some people are still using some nice blues. But at a certain point, especially with fixed rolls, it gets stale after a while. It's not possible for them to put in so many in the game without some sort of randomization. It's just imagine how many weapons that would be. There's already plenty in the game, and we feel the way we feel, like we get the same one over and over again. So they have, we've talked about this. There's got to be a core system in place. If it's not random rolls, fine, but something that adds value to all the loot that's already in the game. And whether it's, weapon randomization, with mods incorporated into that, something, to me, Masterworks is a great system. And you take that with mods 2.0, they've got to take Masterworks another 3 or 4 layers of depth. Whatever they got to do with that to, not make your weapon too crazy powerful, whatever it may be. But Masterworks and mods 2.0, I think, are great steps. But when mods 2.0 finally launches, whenever that may be, if that's fall, they need to knock it out of the park, because like you said, and like you mentioned, Mercury's post, it could do everything that we need as far as depth and incentive to want to play this game day in and day out and hunt for that weapon and make that weapon our weapon. You know what I mean? It's a core system like what mods 2.0 or Masterworks could do ultimately. But it's just gotta be they gotta double down on it, they gotta knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So, and it makes all the loot that's already in the game relevant. It makes better devils a topic again, because now you have all these mods that you can tweak it and make it your own gun, like you said. Anyways, long story short, we're a ways away from seeing what this is, but my
biggest hope is that, as we've seen with updates so far is that we will see a bit of the conversation about what these will be unfold, ahead of September. Which would be awesome, but these are really big changes. So, we know that, everything's probably not going to be set in stone, in the next month or two. Like, they're going to have to work on these and build them out and test everything before they probably even say, okay, this is the way we're going. But, hopefully over the summer, we'll start to see what these could be and get an idea from Bungie what we're going to see down the pike. And yeah, it's exciting. It's a little bit of a wait for things that we, would love to have seen a while ago, but hey, at least we're on the road. We got things to look forward to. The fall can shape up to be a really awesome time for Destiny 2. So for those of us that are going to stick around, we've got great things to be excited about.
Yeah, and I'll take a slower summer.
Summers have always been a little bit slow.
Yeah.
At least we'll have some events. We've never had events in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll take a little bit of a slower summer for them to focus on the fall.
Yeah.
We've gotten substantial updates, over the last each month, for the past little bit.
For sure.
And that's impressive. They're doing the right thing. They've already heard for months what they haven't been doing right. So, it's like, let's move forward and
they're definitely full steam ahead, just chugging along and pushing stuff out at a decent pace. So I'm happy with all the progress,
Yeah.
Things are starting to come together.
Exactly. What I would like to see, because there is, with this roadmap, it takes away a little bit of the surprise element. And I'm totally fine with that. And I'm sure many Guardians are, because we asked for this roadmap and something like this for a long time. And I love it. And I hope they continue it and update it like they just did here recently. But that's not to say, guys, you guys are great at thinking outside the box. Like, sprinkle in some randomness. Just even if it's something, even if Xur sells some exotic one weekend over the summer, and just as a total surprise, like, sprinkle in just little nuggets of a secret here and there. You know what I mean?
Well, I hope, Chris Barrett promised that we are getting more of the secrets and things returning. So I really am hoping that we get, a big exotic quest or some kind of
something with Warmind.
Something special to find with Warmind. My hopes are really high. I'm not going to lie. Don't let me down.
Well, my thing is, even I hope they do that for sure with Warmind. And you're right. He did, he hinted at that, and that's fantastic. We definitely need that. If nothing else, that for sure would be nice to see that excitement come back and wake up, and somebody found something crazy and it's all over Reddit. Those are such exciting moments for the community. But I even mean over the summer, just little random things, that they drop in that just something to talk about, even if it's not a brand new weapon that Xur sells, just something totally random. It doesn't have to be a full event. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy substantial. Just something that's not on the roadmap that just takes us by surprise. You know what I mean?
Do you mean
I don't know
surprise
what that would be,
and
but
delight?
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
that?
Yes. Anyways,
all right,
moving on.
We got a lot more to cover here. Let's plot ahead to what's on the most direct horizon here. So the announcement, May 8th, with the beginning of Season 3, we get Warmind. We'll send you to new places to meet new heroes and battle new enemies. You'll earn new loot, master new activities. We have a reveal stream on April 24th on Twitch, along with a trailer is promised. They also talk about how they're going to be delivering Crucible content with the beginning of Season 3, which...
So excited about this.
This is great, yeah. For every player of Destiny 2, all of the new Crucible maps developed for Warmind will be in matchmaking. Same goes for maps released with Curse of Osiris. To keep the community in the Crucible unified, everyone will see new arenas and match-made playlists like Quick Play, Competitive Trials, Iron Banner, as well as the new weekly rotators that include Rumble and Mayhem. That means more opponents for everyone. With the arrival of private matches, players will need to purchase each expansion to have exclusive access to play those maps with others in a private match. This goes into effect May 8th with the beginning of Season 3. So this is a great move. It's definitely going to keep, like they say, the population unified. So we don't have, segregated matchmaking, non-expansion or expansion here. And then, well, here's the Curse of Osiris playlist,
Right. Yeah.
And hey, dude, that's great for people that just want to play the Crucible.
This is like driven me crazy since back in the Call of Duty days when like your buddies didn't buy the expansion and you did. Yes. And it tells you on your menu, like they don't have it. Yep. So the new maps are disabled. Like this is a big deal. And I hope they do this. Like this is kind of one of those things to me, like once they do it, would be very silly to revert back. Yeah. Even if this is like a population thing right now.
Yeah. I don't see them turning that around.
So I'm hoping this going forward is fantastic.
They're pretty excited to announce this. I know Lars and some of the other guys that work on the Crucible a lot were really excited to talk about this on Twitter. And I think it's a great move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely cool. I'm excited about it. I don't want a couple different nodes just for DLC maps.
Right.
Let's keep us all together.
Yeah. So that was all the info from the development roadmap. A couple other things they mentioned in the TWAB about the Warmind is over on the reveal stream. They're going to have developers from Bungie along with representatives from Vicarious Visions. So it sounds like Vicarious Visions, who we know that Bungie has partnered up with, since I think they announced it around Rise of Iron. That they had partnered up with Vicarious Visions. So it sounds like they may have had quite a bit to do with this expansion.
Yeah. Which is neat.
Yeah.
That works.
So interesting tidbit there. So we'll definitely get to hear from some folks that are new to the Bungie and the Destiny community.
Exciting. I was going to mention before we move fully past the roadmap, I wanted to go back, maybe I will for a future episode, and find that long paragraph about Eververse. And didn't they say all of the changes and like tweaks they want to make to Eververse to kind of make the community a little more content was going to happen with this May update?
I don't think so.
Didn't they originally say that?
They didn't really talk that much in detail about Eververse.
Man, I feel like they originally said May. Maybe they didn't. I will just forget what I'm saying. I'll go do my research and we'll revisit this.
All right. Another big change for Season 3 that wasn't on the roadmap is how power level will affect the enemies you face. So we heard from Combatants Design Lead Tomonori Kinoshita, who basically is the guy that designs and puts all the work into all the cool enemies that we face. And he talked about PvE. Okay. And we're talking about difficulty. So, it's been kind of a contentious part of Destiny 1 and 2, how level and power level / light level affects, basically your difficulty in activities. And especially in Destiny 2, power level has had a lot less to do with the actual experience in the game. Unless you're doing stuff like the raid or the nightfall, like really end game stuff. In Destiny 1, it was a little bit more specific. Even in, missions and, in certain times patrols and, quests and different things, like your light level was important more often. And so what they're doing is making a difficulty tuning pass that impacts both level and power levels. So he explains, the main goals are to provide a more challenging experience for players when they take on higher leveled activities. This should make power progression and acquisition more meaningful, reinforce and reward the energy type matching gameplay, and provide opportunities for our master PvEers to demonstrate their prowess at the highest levels. So, bear with me here. Some very specific language. They're going to
great stuff, though.
Change outgoing player damage scaling versus higher level combatants to be steeper. Basically make other enemies more difficult, similar to original Destiny. As a result, higher leveled combatants will take longer to kill than they currently do. But if you're at or above their level, you can still melt them, just like you have in the Go Fast update. Extend outgoing and incoming damage scaling from capping at a 40 power level delta to a 50 power level delta. Essentially what this means, if you remember, back in the Crow to Zen days, this was a very specific time where they used delta scaling to impact difficulty in the raid, because the enemies were actually a number of levels above what was achievable in Destiny at that time. So if, the top level was level 30, you would see enemies at level 31, 32. And they use that term called delta scaling to make enemies more difficult to kill. So what they're doing is basically increasing power level from 40 in the game to 50. Now, we don't know how level is going to change, how your actual level will change in Destiny after Warmind. The trend in the past has been, every expansion or so, like your character could, quote unquote, level up. Like if you were level 20, sometimes with an expansion, you go to level 25. So probably that will happen to an extent, but there will be a higher upper level for enemies to be that would give more power to enemies, which would increase difficulty for you, the player, to face them. When combatants are 50 power levels or higher above the player, they will be immune and display a question mark icon on their nameplate. OG Guardians probably remember the first time they stumbled across the Hive in the depths of the Cosmodrome. We wanted to bring back that feeling of mystery and provide challenges for the player to come back to later in their journey. So this is, some interesting changes. Definitely going
Wasn't expecting it.
Challenge people to, you mentioned, we've talked about this plenty. There hasn't been a whole lot of purpose to level up your Guardian as in terms of power. Once you hit a certain power level and you could access all the activities, unless you're trying to do the most difficult stuff, that would be at the highest power level, like a raid or something.
Right.
There really wasn't any purpose. Now,
that is the thing that's weird about Destiny that, many people have mentioned is, what you said exactly. A lot of games like Monster Hunter or other games we hear mentioned recently, it's a constant grind to be more powerful. And in Destiny, you are that powerful pretty quickly, and then it turns more into a mechanic type thing, and than enemies being really difficult to kill. Yeah.
So now it seems like there's going to be a wider variance across more activities with power and what will be necessary to fight enemies. So this is cool. I'm down with this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not missing something, right? Like this was kind of out of left field, right?
Yeah, they haven't talked about this.
Yeah.
This is like totally,
something else they're working
brand
on.
new.
Very cool.
And it's coming soon.
It goes along with the TWABs we've been getting.
Yeah.
For the past couple months, we get basically there's a whole new section. It seems like every week now with something like this, or more depth than something we've just heard a little bit about. So this is cool, man. Exciting.
So, a couple more things is how energy shields will work. basically matching your element to the shield will be a 3 times damage multiplier. Plus the shield detonation non-matching energy will be a 2 times modifier, and then kinetic damage won't have any bonus damage multiplier. To further incentivize the matching game, the 3 times multiplier for matching damage types is not affected by the damage scaling of higher level combatants until the combatants display the question mark nameplates. So if you're fighting an enemy with a shield, even if he is more powerful, the basically dropping their shield, the modifiers you'll do equal damage across different types of enemies, at least for that part. And then they mention as well, the previous change also allows us to bring back match game as an additional prestige nightfall modifier for extra points and bragging rights. When this modifier is enabled, all non-matching damage to energy shields is reduced to 10%. So make sure your fire team is coordinating appropriately. The current plan is for match game to launch along with the rest of these difficulty changes. So, yeah. Cool things to look forward to. If you play Destiny 1, this will probably make things feel a lot more like the Destiny 1 experience. May take a little getting used to in PvE. I expect a lot more people dying for about a week, including myself.
Figure it out. Yeah, get used to it.
As you get used to this, but it I think it will bring back a level of difficulty that gives the game some more challenge and enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a win, especially for PvE players.
It just seems like another element of what we mentioned earlier, just things coming together over the next month and, month to 6 months from the May update to fall. Just it's coming together, right?
Yeah.
So very nice.
All right. Next up, they bring up, as they do every year, Bungie Foundation is teaming up with the Seattle Ronald McDonald House through the annual Men in Kilts fundraiser. They're planning to try to raise $77,000. You can make a donation for Team Bungie at a link in the TWAB. They're trying to do that by April 27th, and they've, as usual, got some really cool incentives for donating. From the lowest tier, $50, you get some cool digital teaser concept art. All the way up to $500, you get a physical print. $1,000, you get the chance to have a Bungie studio visit, which is pretty cool. And then $2,000, you get every other prize plus your own piece of custom concept art featuring you.
Wow.
Some pretty cool stuff. And then they also, around the same time every year, do something called the Gauntlet Tabletop Fundraiser, where they compete in a tournament against other local gaming studios to raise funds for Wellspring Family Services that helps families essentially become self-sufficient and improve their communities. So they have some other similar rewards for donating there. A little bit different, but one of them, if you donate $1,000, you get to participate in an exclusive virtual pentathlon puzzle hunt that will take place during the Bungie Pentathlon against, it says you and up to 12 of your friends will be invited to participate against other donors, so you get to play against other people.
Oh, wow.
Finally, whatever clan donates the most for this cause gets to be featured on Bungie.net. Pretty cool.
Yeah, some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, go check out all this info if you're interested in helping Bungie raise some money for a couple good causes. Do this every year, and there's some great incentives if you're interested in donating. Iron Banner.
Moving right along, yes.
Coming back, 10 a.m., April 17th. That is Reset. That's this week. So, 6v6 Iron Banner. As always, Dirt Fan Banner will be in full effect. That is when we get together every single evening during Iron Banner, put together fire teams, and mix it up, play with new people in the community.
Have a good time.
and have a good time.
I think it's worth mentioning. Of course, we know Iron Banner was delayed. I am waiting to see if people think 6v6 is too chaotic. For one, will not, because, that's the whole point. It's old school 6v6. But it is worth mentioning that Bungie had 8-man Rumble out, and they heard the feedback, and Iron Banner got delayed, which stunk. But the very next week, we had 6-man Rumble. And then we said last week, man, it'd be nice if they had it ready to go the very next week. And sure enough, here we go.
Yeah, it's
Iron
back.
Banner's back. Good to go. Just needed to cook for a week. They got it fixed.
Yeah, we had a little hot fix this past week, 1.1.4.1, that changed both Rumble from 8 to 6-man, and then also changed some of the spawn issues. How was 6-man Rumble this week, man?
Dude, it was excellent. Pretty much most of what I did this week.
Excellent? That's a new one.
Oh, you did it.
That's a good one.
You know what? I'll get into it in reset. But
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
We'll talk about it.
Yep.
They also fixed a couple of things in the patch, some spawning into the tower on a black screen issues and some other stuff. Problems with vendors not present. They do talk about there's been some issue with that, with vendors not showing up for about 30 seconds. If you have that, they say, please post a report to the help forum noting how long it took for the vendors to appear. That's over in Destiny community support. And then there's also a potential solution for folks on PC who are having issues with Destiny 2 crashing. They've got a scan and repair, basically like little tool that you can check out. Go check out the TWAB if you're having any issues. They might have a potential fix for you. They have our movies of the week and Nightfall top scores and all that fun stuff. So
the usual. Excellent stuff.
Great update via Cosmo. Thank you. Other news, real quick. The community focus has returned.
Yes.
It was really funny because just this past week, something made me think about community focus, and I was wondering, I was like, man, they haven't done that since Destiny 2. I wonder if they just tanked that, or I don't know. And then sure enough,
that's something that should not be tanked.
Just bam, popped up. Community focus. Heard of these guys, WTF Game Nation, which are a father and son streaming duo that focuses on raid Sherpas and raid teaching. Cool couple guys there. I know they've also been on Destiny Community Podcast, I believe. And so they definitely deserving of a community focus. Go check those guys out on Twitch and read up about them on the Bungie.net website on community focus.
Very cool that that's back, man. It's, it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Community. So this is something that definitely should be back and stay back.
Yeah, man.
For sure. For sure.
All right. News under our belt.
That's it. That's all the news?
Yes.
There wasn't much? Yeah, right. It's going to be like this
for the next 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, at least. Yep. For sure. So, if anything, the roadmap gives us something to talk about on the show so we don't bore people.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, Cyborg.
Yes.
How was your reset, buddy?
It was good, man. I mostly just played Nightfall this week.
Nice.
I had one long night where we worked on that for a bit. I didn't have the time to try to grind that this week.
Yeah, dude, I've heard people running 40 and not getting
going nuts trying to get this piece of Nightfall gear. Spoilers, it's a hand cannon called the I think the DFA.
Yes.
It's got Rampage. So. It's like the new PvE hotness, the new Fate Bringer.
Which that'll get them grinding immediately.
Yeah, people running 40 times to try to get this thing.
Yes.
I've just been cracking up on Twitter all week watching people.
it's so exciting to see it, dude. Like this week I had another one of those moments where, you know, the magic was there. It's so cool to see people grinding the Nightfall. I will say, you know, some constructive feedback is maybe this isn't necessarily the exact grind people want, just over and over and over again for one weapon, but you know what?
I've heard it both
people
ways.
People are still having a good time. They're having fun. When they get that drop, it feels like the Vex Mythicast, you know, all over again. So
I've seen people, you know, tweeting and posting like, man, this is exactly what I wanted. This grind, I love this. This is what I wanted back. And then I've also seen people like, yeah, this is cool, but you know, it's a little excessive to run it 40 times and not get the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the, you know, a constructive criticism of it is that you can get it on your 5th run, or you could not get it and run it 40 times. So if you get it on your 5th run, then you immediately are done with grinding that strike. Now, granted, then the grind becomes, okay, I want to master this weapon in the Crucible or whatever, you know? So there's more to it than just getting the gun. But, you know, it does stink. People get it. Yeah, it's classic, man. That's Destiny 1 in a nutshell, dude. Still to this day, I talked to one of my in real life buddies. I'm grinding and grinding for the Fatebringer and don't get it until like right before one of the expansions.
I know.
And he got it on his first run, dude. And I'm like, but you know what?
One of my
it's
friends,
a story. I'm still telling it.
he was running it. I mean, I don't know how many he ended up till he got it. It was over 20. And he complained in our group chat. He was like, yeah, and then, you know, so-and-so jumps in and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to grind for this gun. I don't really care, and gets it on his first Nightfall strike. And he was just so pissed. But I mean, that is Destiny 1 in a nutshell, like total RNG drops. Like it's a random chance at getting a gun. I'm not going to complain about it. It's Destiny. No. Like that's how it's been. Maybe some of our Destiny 2 new players might not care for that, but
yeah. Granted, you could, you know, revisit what I said earlier that I heard, you know, about random rolls being not necessarily a good system, but it was something we had in Destiny 1. This is kind of similar, except I feel like you're right. This is more to the core of Destiny. Now, like it's kind of gives you what we call now that Destiny feeling when unfortunately your friend gets something in 2 runs and you still don't have it after 30.
Yeah. But luck is what makes it feel valuable.
Yep.
You know, to have it, and it's a low possession rate. You know, not a lot of people are going to have it. So when you see people, you're going to know like, oh my gosh, you got the gun.
And people are having, that feeling this week, you know, the Gallahorn, like they run it 30 times and they get that drop and they have that moment, you know? It's cool. It's a cool thing.
For sure. So how was your reset, man? What did you get into?
Dude, I immediately jumped into Rumble. You know, Rumble's I love me some Rumble. And I had a blast, dude. Like I had those games, at least first off, where like the timing of the game, my spawns, like I wasn't, you know, spawning right next to people like we were with 8-man, but like the, you know, old Call of Duty, like I was just in spawn loops that just were not working in my favor. But, you know, I can identify that not being the game. It's just timing that's happening. But dude, I had a good time in 6-man Rumble. You know, I've heard the feedback throughout the community all week, and some are happy with the 6 change and some aren't. Of course, you know, the big problem with the 8 was the spawning. I mean, the spawning was just not great. Like people were spawning right behind you. So, you know, some people would say 8 wasn't necessarily the issue they had. It was just the spawning. But man, 6 overall feels good to me. Like on Vostok, it's a bit slower and you're probably going to hit the time frame. You know, but I'm okay with it being a little bit slower. I don't mind that. And then if you jump on dead cliffs, it's crazy with 6 people. So I mean, I'm fine with it being 6-man. Now, granted, I did hit time on several of my games, so I would think that's not the ultimate goal, is to hit the time frame.
I've heard that a few times, people saying they're running into time a lot.
Right. Yeah. And I would think they wouldn't want that. Now, granted, again, people are leaving. There were many games that, very early on in the game, there were only 5 of us or less. So call that, a population thing, call that whatever you want to call that. I don't know. But, it's, and again, Rumble's a quick play kind of thing. So we're probably not going to see any sort of quitter penalty in Rumble. So I don't know what the solution would be there, but overall, man, I had a good time. I'm fine with it. I'm not big into, I used to not even play Rumble type game modes. I didn't play free for all very much in Call of Duty because I just spawning, running, killing someone, dying. Most of the time you kill someone, you die. Kill someone, you die. Maybe get 2 or 3 kills, get a streak, but most of the time it's 1-on-1. And I didn't play Rumble for the longest time, but then I realized, I saw these guys, you play Rumble to try to get better at Crucible and your radar awareness and all these things. And I slowly I love Rumble now. And it being a little slower in some games, I'm fine with, because I'm more of a strategic type, slow play, strategized kind of player anyways. And Destiny's made me enjoy the faster gameplay more than I used to. But dude, I used to sit in a bush on SOCOM for like 6 minutes waiting for someone to run by to shoot them. So anything's faster than that. Yeah. So 6-man on Vostok is fine with me. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Did you play any Rumble at all?
Man, I really, the one night you had brought it up and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in and play tonight. And then I think I got sidetracked and I didn't jump in. And then, man, I got totally distracted with Far Cry 5 in the past week.
Oh, that's easy.
I picked it up last week because everybody was having such a good time with it. And I was like, oh, this looks really fun, and it'd be a really fun game to stream. And so I played it for several nights to stream this week, along with some Destiny 2, but I was just having so much fun. I got...
Those games are a blast. Yeah. We talked about it already, I think, on the show. You just kind of experience them. That you can get lost like immediately.
Yeah.
So for sure.
So cool. Hopefully when it comes back around, I'll be sure to play some and I can weigh in.
Yeah, definitely. It's I enjoyed it, man. And I fit in some strikes in my public event flashpoints. The thing is, man, they get some of these core systems in place again, like Masterworks and Mods 2.0. We asked in Destiny 1 for them to give us a reason to go out on patrol. We have reasons and plenty of content, man. We just, we need some of this quality of life stuff that a lot of people are wanting in the game, and all the content's already there, we just need the loot incentive, to want to run it. And I'm excited for where the game's going, and I'm doing this. I'm not like spending any of my mats now. For whatever reason, I decided this week, like I have all my engrams are full. Now they're now going to my postmaster. I'm not turning anything in because there's just really, other than needing a few mods, I don't need it right now. And I'm sure many people have been here for a while, but I usually would still like pop my engrams and all that stuff, but I'm not. And it's so funny when I log in now because it's telling me to go everywhere. And then I look at my inventory and I just have like just nothing but engrams. I'm waiting to fill up my entire postmaster at this point.
Well, if you're trying to bank them for the expansion, typically in the past, they have a different
You can't do it
set
anymore.
Of engrams, yeah.
You used to be able to, right? Like up to House of Wolves or something?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think in the beginning, people were able to game that system, and then they caught on.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know why. I just decided one night. I knew I couldn't do that.
Just bank a whole bunch and then do one of those videos.
Loot opening videos.
Remember those, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Hopefully I'm setting on some Masterworks, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's a great reason you need to be opening those.
Yeah, true. Yeah, even the mats though. Hopefully, at some point, maybe in the fall or something, we would get like some sort of refresh of something, and all those tokens.
Yeah, all these tokens, hopefully, and
at least the tokens.
Legendary. What are they called now? Marks? Points?
I
don't even know.
Shards.
Are they shards? Okay.
Let me look.
I lose track. I just know
legendary
they're
shards.
purple points.
Dude, that takes me back to going to the D2, the Dre, dude.
Yeah,
like,
remember we were like agonizing over
this
the
bright dust.
Yeah, we were agonizing over the economy. We're like, there's two numbers. There's this number.
Yep.
What is this number? Oh my gosh! But I have like 800 purple points, and
I do not have a lot of those,
I hope
man.
that
I don't know why.
The smartest thing would be to tie the mod system into those, so that you could use those to purchase, or I don't know. We need something significant to spend them on. So that's a great question for the future. We'll see what happens with the economy, but I'm hoping they got some stuff planned.
Yes, for sure. I did see this week, man. I didn't even know it came out. I'm a big Don't Starve fan.
Yeah, that came out on Switch this week, right?
Awesome. Dude, it came out
I've
on
never
Switch.
played that.
Yep.
I'm thinking about picking it up, though, for the Switch.
I love it, man. I don't know what it is about it, but it is a fun game. You try to survive. I don't think maybe once I made it past winter, but it's no joke. Like it is a fun game. And it's, again, Switch. It's like, it's funny. You just buy a game and then you don't realize that you haven't played it yet, but everything just seems like it would be so fantastic on Switch. Just chilling in bed playing Don't Starve when I used to have to sit in my game room at my console or on PC playing it, like playing anything in bed.
It's pretty addictive, so.
It is, very much so. It's a cool game. Yeah, you should get it. You would probably, I don't know. I would say you would probably like it, but I would not be surprised if you came back and were like, man, it's cool, but it's not really for me.
I'll try it out. I mean, I've always been interested in it. I've just never.
It's kind of, yeah. I won't say it's stressful, but like once you start figuring some stuff out, but there's still stuff I don't understand about the game. Like you like hang your meat out to dry, and it's all about prepping for winter in that game.
Yeah.
If you can't, and then all of a sudden like monsters come out from nowhere.
I like survival type games, like games where
great.
you have to collect resources and prepare and like manage.
You have to like set traps. So these
I like that. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't have multiplayer, like co-op?
It Don't Starve Together came out.
Okay,
I want to say it's now out on the consoles and on PC for sure, but I don't know that it's out on Switch
yet. What's coming out is just Don't Starve, like the original?
Yeah,
single player?
I'm not certain. It looked like all it said was Don't Starve Switch Edition, of course. And when I looked at the, like the little description, it didn't look like it came, because there's several expansion. Well, I say several. There's a couple, I think, expansions for it where they added just some different possible seasons or monsters and things that could find you. But I want to say it's just the core game, which is it's fantastic. That's all I ever played. I think maybe I bought one of the little DLC packs for it, but I don't know that I ever even ventured into it that much. So I had my fun in the game just playing that core game. So
awesome, man.
$20, $19.99. I'm probably gonna buy it sometime this week. Yeah,
it's a good price.
I still haven't bought Darkest Dungeon on there, man, because I own it on PS4 and I just can't. I just don't want to spend $30 on it again.
Yeah, what I've heard is a must buy on Switch right now is Celeste. Mega Magwitch talked about that when he came on. I think you were out that week, but I've had a few other people tell me like that game
that's the one
is like probably one of the best of the year on the Switch. So
I've probably seen it, but I don't remember it, dude. I just go browse the Switch store.
Yeah, there's a lot of
periodically.
Dude, there's so many crazy Japan based games. Like I don't know 90% of what I'm looking at in the Switch store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, though.
All right, man. Well, let's do some Dirt Fam discourse, and we'll wrap this sucker up. We got a couple pieces of mail this week, right?
We do, yeah. We got a nice fatty speak pipe this week. We've actually had it for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're sorry, buddy. We know you sent it, and we didn't forget about you. We sat on it for a couple weeks, and it was a great week to play your speak pipe. So let's take a listen.
All right, all right, all right. Hey guys, it's Sir B. Leslie here. I'm just following up the emails that I sent you a few weeks ago. As you know, I've been in the game and out the game and back in the game. So I'm just updating you, letting you know how I'm getting on. And that's that I've been playing lots and lots of Crucible. Not competitive. I've just been going for the mix of playlists, and I've really actually thoroughly enjoyed myself. I still haven't let go of my Mida. I'm holding on to my beloved Mida with cold, steely hands. But I am enjoying it, and it's been really good. And to be honest, the PvE is not really doing it for me at the moment. And I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I've always been very big into PvE, much more so than the Crucible. But this time round, Crucible's, it's scratching a certain itch I've got at the moment. But anyway, my question for you this week is, what do you guys think about Bungie maybe reinstating something in the game like ghosts or calcified fragments or shards that we'd have to go around and collect? I really miss it from Destiny 2, and I think that's something that I just sort of feel would be quite nice if we could have something we could go around, maybe 60 pieces of something to go around and collect. Anyway, keep up the good work, and I look forward to hearing what you got to think. Thanks. Take care. Bye.
All right, Mr. Facebook, Sir B. Leslie. Thank you so much for sending in a speak pipe. Bravo on the Matthew McConaughey there at the beginning. I think he sent us an email and was wondering if we weren't playing it because we thought it was a bad impression.
No, that would be a better reason to play it.
Yes, it would. Exactly. But anyways, it's great. I do remember you being more of a PvE guy, so it's cool to hear that you're something about D2 PvP's got you into it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear that because
it's
a
not
lot
par for the course.
Right. And I have seen this common thread where a lot of people that liked D1 Crucible, obviously we've heard many a feedback that they don't like the time to kill in D2 in the team shooting, but many do like it because it does allow a little bit more room for error, And
I think the major difference is the skill ceiling is lower.
Right.
So the skill ceiling is lower and the skill gap is not quite as wide. Right. That's a double-edged sword. It's good for people to enter it, where they can get into the Crucible a lot quicker. It's bad for the highest skilled players because the skill ceiling is lower.
Right. It's a full-on conversation, but it is interesting to acknowledge that thread because, and we're not just talking about you crappy Crucible players out there, because Cyborg and I aren't great either. Yeah. So it allows for you to, you have more of time to react. It allows a little bit more room for error. And it's interesting to hear, people that didn't really care for D1 Crucible that like it, like D2, the way that it's set up.
Yeah, you're going to see it both ways. I mean, there's more players like Sir B. Leslie that are entering the Crucible and enjoying it, whereas they didn't like it as much in D1. So there's a lot to consider in the Crucible, and why they made the choice they did, what they tried to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's easy to gloss over, like acknowledging this point of view on the Crucible. Bungie has to consider all of that. Yeah. So there, while we may think it wouldn't be very substantial portion of the community, there may be a larger portion of the community that's not very vocal right now that actually is having a decent time in Crucible. So they would frustrate those players.
Yeah.
But again, it's a double-edged sword, like you said. It's a hard thing. But anyways, he had a question for us. Why don't you take this one, dude?
So to your question, Sir B. Leslie, you asked about reinstating something like ghosts or like dead ghosts or calcified fragments. I would absolutely love that. 100% without a doubt.
That was your thing, man.
That was a really fun thing. And, I super enjoyed finding all the ghosts, the dead ghosts in Destiny 1. the hunt for all the 50 calcified fragments with the Taken King was a ton of fun. All the different ways, you had to find some, you had to do challenges for some. And, by doing that, it opened up the path to the raid exotic. I mean, that whole system was so well done. If they could do it just like that, I'd be super happy. But I think any collectible I enjoy finding, especially because they tied those to lore, because there was the Book of Sorrows that tied to the calcified fragments. With Rise of Iron, when we got the Siva fragments, it gave us little pieces of lore attached to each one. Please bring that back.
Yeah, I even, we always joked about me going out and hunting for ghosts.
And you did some of that too.
I took forever to do it, but I always heard how much fun people had going exploring the world. It basically made you do that. And I did end up doing it and enjoyed it, but I ultimately did it because I wanted that emblem for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And, Yep. And I even did the calcified fragments, man. You're right. Like it was a lot of fun to hunt those things down. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Bring it back. Something.
Well, we were talking about the Crucible, and we've got another email about the Crucible from our buddy Chuck Likes Pizza, and the subject is post-patch / no radar trials feedback. His email, he writes, "What's up, Derp fam? In your last episode 140, you asked for our feedback regarding trials since the last update. I played a card with Fluffy Fingers MD, Cliff Spob, and Joe Meaden on Burnout the Friday after the patch drop. It was hands down the most exhilarating time I had playing PvP since D1 Trials. Hero moments, calculated aggression, sweaty palms, heart racing. We didn't go flawless, but after a rocky start, we managed to get 5 wins, and I finally got the Darkest Before Energy Pulse Rifle and Purpose Kinetic Scout, both of which had eluded me previously. We had a great time working together, making callouts and backing each other up. We had so much fun, the Spire rewards were just icing. I didn't get the chance to play Countdown on Midtown this past weekend, but I could definitely say I'm pumped for the coming weekend's action. To those who missed the high-intensity PvP action that D1 Trials provided, give Trials Sans Radar a go. Communication, constant movement, and cohesion is key, but hero moments are definitely possible. We appreciate all you do for our community. Keep it up. Chuck, a.k.a. Chuck Likes Pizza."
Awesome.
Thank you for that email, man. I saw them that night. Playing Trials. Is like, oh, that's a fun team. I wonder how that's going down. And sounds like he had a really fun time. I'm kind of intrigued and want to go jump in some Trials myself now.
Oh, I definitely do. I've been playing solo a lot lately, man, and getting the old Trials team back together and playing on Friday nights, especially after hearing this. Even just the way he wrote this sounds so fun. And no radar. I did jump into a competitive this week. I forgot to mention that, but surprisingly, we like no radar, but it seems to be fun, and I'm super jealous because he got the pulse that I want, the Darkest Before, and I got to jump in Trials if I want to get the
good. I pulled that one out of my vault, and I really like that scout. That is a solid kinetic scout rifle. If you have it or you want a good scout, I would pick that up if you can.
See, this is what's great. This is Destiny greatness. Like, I want that pulse, the Darkest Before, and I want that Nightfall sniper. When it comes back up again, dude, I'm going to be grinding the heck out of that Nightfall.
But that gives you like something
sniper.
Specific to chase in the game, and that's kind of part of what makes it fun,
Definitely.
And you want them because they are tools to help you play the game more fun in an activity that you enjoy. Like, weapons and armor are what allow the game to be different for different people. And when they can make them special and the path to receiving them are challenging or very specific, that's what gives Destiny that chase, that comeback feeling. And that's part of what the game has missed.
Yep.
It's great to see that again.
Yeah, and I will say, even before the tweaks they're gonna make to flinch in May on snipers feel really good right now, dude. My Velated D that I've had since in the Crucible, I've had this sniper since 2 or 3 weeks in probably, and it's the Velated D, and it feels great.
Nice.
Might
have to pull that
popping
one out.
headshots. I'm doing the old school quick scope thing, just getting a quick body shot, trying to get the headshot, and snipers feel really good right now.
Turn to form, huh?
Yeah. So, maybe not fully back, but enough to comfortably and confidently run one in the Crucible right now. It definitely can be done.
Nice.
So
I'll have to try that.
All you snipers like myself that haven't been using snipers a whole lot since Destiny 2 dropped.
Time for you to come out of the woodworks again.
Yes, give it a go.
All right. Well, Chuck, thanks for the email, man. We really appreciate that feedback on Trials, and a challenge to every listener. Go give Trials a try. It's new and different. Go give it a little, give it a little spin one weekend.
And again, we say this every week, but always do what Chuck did here and shoot us a tweet, an email, a speak pipe. How can they do that, Cyborg?
Yes, email. You can email us at destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com or speakpipe.com/destinyreset.
Yes. Even if those are too long form for you, just tweet us at Destiny Reset. Let us know what you're doing and how you are enjoying it. If you are, maybe you're not, tell us.
Yep.
We want to know.
We got any patron shout outs this week, man?
We did get a new patron this week. We have not acquired that patron's gamer tag yet.
Check your patron messages.
Yes, check your messages and we will give you that shout out.
If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, where for as little as $1 a month, you can back us, if you will, become a patron, if you want, of the show and support our production budget. Those funds go towards things like equipment, hosting fees, software, all the kind of fun things that we use to produce this podcast and do it in as high a quality as we can. So we appreciate all of our patrons. There's quite a few of them. If you become a patron, you get a few perks. You get a shout out on the podcast. You get your gamer tag posted on our website as a Dirt Fan patron, and an invitation to a Discord channel just for patrons and supporters of the podcast. So go check it out, patreon.com/Destiny Reset.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for the support.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it.
All right, man. Great show. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheArrowKnight and on YouTube and Twitch. It's AER0KNIGHT. I'm not streaming a ton lately. I'll still throw that out there. At some point I hope to start streaming a bit again, but I am posting stuff on my YouTube channel. I've got live comms that I try to throw up at least once a week. Just me playing usually the Crucible and talking about what I'm doing right or wrong and trying to analyze my gameplay. So I appreciate you guys checking out the YouTube channel. Cyborg, what about you, dude?
Yeah, go subscribe to this dude on YouTube. He's putting out a lot more content, some cool videos.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
He might have something special after next week when he comes back.
Ooh.
Just saying. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and also mixer.com/CyborgSasquatch. I'm streaming 4 nights a week, usually around 9:30, 10 p.m. Central into the evening. So come hang out. We're building a cool, fun community over on Mixer. There's a lot of great Destiny streamers and other folks that I know from around all these different communities. It's a really pretty good community at Mixer. I'm enjoying it a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we talked about it before. They've got cool features like FTL, which basically there's no delay in chat. So
yeah, that's crazy. I feel like you don't realize how cool that is until you experience it. Like you said last week.
Check it out. So come by, come hang out, and I'll be around streaming different games, Destiny 2, Far Cry 5, possibly God of War coming up, God of War 4. We got to talk about that next week. That's coming out. Excited about that.
People are excited. Yeah, very excited about that. I don't know that I will play it right off the bat. I've never really played a lot of the God of Wars,
so
but
good.
People
in this
are
one.
amped about this one.
Yeah, we'll talk about
time. Yeah.
Finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter and also on the World Wide Web at www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe to your favorite podcast app of choice.
Please, yes. And no new iTunes reviews this week, but thank you to all you Guardians who have left us a review. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Means a lot. It does. And just a little teaser. Cyborg kind of already teased a little bit, but you guys might want to pay attention to Cyborg and I's personal channels and also the podcast channel, because there may be some neat loot we might be giving away.
Free swagger.
Soon, very soon.
Also, this man will be going on a trip this week. As we talked about, up to Bungie Studios. So keep an eye out on his Twitter. Man. I'm sure he'll be putting out some things that he can. But man, safe travels. I'm super excited for this trip for you and for us. And next week, when he comes back, we will talk about what he can talk about in his awesome adventure to Bungie. So be excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be a big show.
We're going to record the latest we can next week, the day before releasing, so that we can talk all the things. And yes, it's going to be fun. So I'm definitely super pumped. I'm excited for us and the Dirt fam and the community, man. And we're going to have some travel this week and some things to talk about next.
Yes, sir.
So anyways, great show. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.